it's going.
All right, hey everybody, and welcome to our Dash to Diamond. And tonight, it's January 25th, and tonight we are here with Brooke King and Megan Saini as our guest speakers. Both of these coaches are incredible. Megan is the personally sponsored coach of Angela Larocco, who's my personally sponsored coach. And then Brooke is sponsored by Ashley Jackson, and Ashley's my so Brooke is actually, I know you guys already know this if you've been on calls before, but Brooke is a 2015 elite coach and a 6-star diamond, and Megan is a 2015 premier coach and a 3-star diamond. So these girls know what they're doing, and they have a lot of really great information to bring to you guys tonight about getting organized in your business. So I'm going to turn it over to them, and I'm going to let them kind of introduce themselves just a little bit more, and then they can go ahead and share with you guys what they have tonight. So go ahead.
All right. Megan, do you want to go ahead and get started? I'll go ahead and screen share so that we can go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead and bring us into screen share, and we'll go ahead and dive right in. I see a lot of familiar faces on here. There's a lot of people on this call, which is awesome. But for those of you who don't know me, I'm Megan Saini, and like Lauren said, I am Angela Larocco's PS coach, and I have my team Believe and Achieve. We did finish Premier, which was freaking amazing, and I hope every single person on this call has set the goal to be a Premier or Elite coach for 2016, because it can absolutely be done, and I am proof of that. Last January, I was a Diamond coach with 8 PS coaches underneath me, and it took me 8 months to go Diamond, and now I am a 3-star Diamond in my first business center, a 2-star diamond in my husband's business center, and a 1-star diamond in my second CBC. So when I say like the difference a year can make, like that is not an understatement. Like a year can make an incredible difference in your business, but you have to be able to set those like big goals and plug into these calls and do, you know, really things that aren't always easy. So first of all, just give you guys a pat on, oh my goodness. Give yourselves a pat on the back just for even being on this call. I know it's late. I know we all have, you know, lives and things that are going on. I mean, Brooke is snowed out in California when she lives in Washington, D.C., and she was supposed to come home on Saturday, and she's not even home yet, and she's on the call. And that's just like amazing leadership right there. So give you guys a pat on the back for just being here and being committed to, you know, going Diamond and growing your business and getting on these calls, and just know that all these little things that you're doing, all these little sacrifices that you're making over time really compound into something much bigger, and don't lose sight of that. So we're going to talk about getting organized, because for me, I'm glad that, you know, I was asked to talk on this topic, because for me, I didn't get organized, and all of a sudden I woke up one day and I was like a 1-star Diamond coach, and I had no systems and no rhyme or reason to the way I was doing things, and I was drowning over here. And one of my biggest regrets was not having more focused work time and having some systems in place sooner. So Brooke and I are going to go over that. I'm a stay-at-home mom. Brooke's a working mom. So I think this call is going to be great. There's a lot of like different perspective as to what we do in a day. And we'll just go ahead and jump right in and get started.
Can you see that, Megan?
Yeah, I can see it. But I can't see the slides. Are you able to, it just says launch application. It doesn't, I can't see the actual slides.
Can you see that?
Mm-mm.
Window away from, okay, hold on. Let me see. Oh, okay. How about now?
No.
No? Okay. Hold on.
Oh,
everyone. 1 second. Let me see here.
I saw like all your windows.
What windows? Okay, Zoom, share screen.
Oh, there we go.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. Okay, so one thing that I think needs to be mentioned in all of this is focus on your business every single day. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Don't worry about who's Emerald. Don't worry about who's Ruby. Don't worry about who else is already Diamond. Just focus on your own shit, okay? It's you against you, and it's all about being better than the person you were yesterday. So I think that's something that everyone who is pushing for Diamond needs to know. Like, don't get stuck in that like comparison tunnel, and just every day make sure that you're doing the behaviors that need to be done every day to move your business forward and what defines success for you, and only worry about that. Don't worry about all the other stuff. Learn from other coaches, but don't feel like you're not progressing or you're not doing things right, or there's no right or wrong way to do this. Everyone does it differently. So focus on what works for you, get a hold of all the available resources, and, you know, kind of figure it out from there, and use your upline to help you figure that out. And go to the next one. So the biggest thing that I hammer into my coaches is to make sure that you have focused, constructive work time. So set some business hours for yourself. And if all you can do is an hour a day, then that's fine. I do about 4 hours a day right now, which is a lot. But I started out with about an hour a day, and then it was 2 hours a day, and then it was 3 hours a day. But make sure that that time is set aside specifically for work and nothing else. So set business hours, identify time-wasting behaviors. So, you know, if it's time to work and you're like, okay, I just carved out, you know, 2 hours today, I don't have my kids, I'm going to sit down on the computer, I'm going to get some stuff done. And the first thing you do is you open up Facebook and you hit the news feed. Terrible, terrible, big mistake. You're going to waste so much time and energy and efforts, and your mind is going to turn into this like cluster, and it's not focused, and you're not going to be getting anything done. It's a time-wasting behavior. Think about like mindless stuff that you do throughout the day, like folding laundry. Okay, if you're sitting there folding laundry and you're watching Rachel Ray, you could be folding laundry and listening to personal development. To a team call that you weren't able to hop on because your kids were acting crazy and you missed it, or you were just too damn tired to get on that night. So identify like things that you're doing throughout the day that are either a waste of time or time that could be used differently. And always, always, always be working from a list. So I have a list of things I do daily, a list of things I do weekly, and a list of things I do monthly. And then I have a list that I like to call my brain dump that I'm just always working off of. And that's everything. That's like my groceries, picking Luke up from school. Like, it's just my list for the day of the shit that needs to get done. And the more you can cross stuff off that list as you go, the better you're going to feel. And do the hard thing first. So I don't know if you guys have read the book Eat That Frog, but when you have a lot to do in one day, do the thing you're dreading most first. Just get it done, get it off the list, knock it out, be done with it. If there's a particular behavior in this business that you hate, that you can't stand, like for me, it's inviting. I hate doing it. So I do it first. I get it out of the way, it's done, and then you feel better about yourself and you can move on to the other stuff. Another thing I think worth mentioning is when we talk about like constructive work time, it's really easy to get into these training groups and listen to all these training calls and all this personal development, and like you hang up and you're like, okay, I need to go recruit, and I'm going to recruit my ass off, and I'm going to go recruit 100 people, and that's all I'm going to focus on. And then next thing you know, your messages are piling up and you haven't posted, and things start to get like really unorganized. So when we're like focusing on learning stuff, schedule yourself some time to actually implement what you're learning, separate from the stuff that you already should be doing daily. So carve out that time for yourself during the week to say, okay, I need to kind of redo this process that I have here, or I need to really brush up on these skills here. I need to plug into some other calls on this particular topic here. Don't do that kind of stuff until you've done the important things that are going to move your business forward, your power hour, your 3 vital behaviors, that stuff. now that we are pushing for diamond, you guys will start to realize that you're growing a team. And that's time consuming. Coaches are exhausting. They ask a lot of questions, and that's fine. And that's what we're here for. But always remember, 80% of your time needs to be spent on your business forward, and 20% needs to be given back to the team. The same way we talk about with like our challengers, with like our family. Like you have to fill your cup up before you can give to others. Same thing goes with the team. If you're not moving your business forward, you're not able to give back to the team afterwards. If you're not, leading the charge and leading by example, it's going to be really hard for you to teach others to do the same. So you always need to be hitting Success Club for yourself, doing the Power Hour yourself, doing the 3 vital behaviors yourself. And then when all that is done, then you can give back to your team. And I just want to remind everyone, because I think it's really easy as you start to get busier in this business to never, ever, 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 ever compromise the 3 vital behaviors or your Power Hour. They're like the bread and butter of what we do as Beachbody coaches. If you're not doing a Power Hour every day and you're not doing the 3 vital behaviors every day, your business is not focused and your business is not productive. So that kind of ties into, like, you just can't be everything to everyone, which is why those 2 things are so important. And I heard Chalene Johnson say once, like, you need to delegate or die, because we can't be everything to everyone. So make a list of everything you do in a given day that could possibly be done by someone else. And I'm not just talking about the business. I'm talking about your home. So, if one of you is putting the kids to bed, like if I was going to go upstairs and put Luca to bed, but then I had to come downstairs and make his lunch. Well, could my husband maybe make his lunch? Could, my husband maybe do some laundry? Like, think about where you can get help throughout your day and free up some time for yourself. Is a cleaning lady in the budget? That was the first thing I did as I started to get a little bit busier. I went out and hired a cleaning lady. That was like the first thing to go. I was like, all right, I have Luca and I have this business, and there's just no time for me to clean the house anymore. After that, I moved on to doing some outsourcing. I used Fiverr because it's only $5. Like, you can pay $5 for someone to do your cover photos. You can pay $5 for someone to put together a newsletter for you. You can pay $5 for someone to put together a freemium for you. That's stuff that used to take me hours because I suck at it. Like, I suck at all things like computer and tech. It's a miracle we even have these slides. So not only do I suck at it, I don't enjoy it. That's not the part of the business that I enjoy. So the stuff that you find to be time consuming, or the stuff that you don't enjoy, if there's a way to outsource that, go ahead and do it. Please, please do it. The cleaning lady, amazing. Highly recommend it. She's worth every penny. I want her to come every 3 days. So I hear coaches say all the time, like, I need more time. I need more time. I wish I had more time. Well, time isn't something that we can create. It's something that we have to manage. So it's up to you to free up that time for yourself during the day. So for me, it's getting up early. I'm up at 5. I love when I'm up at 5, but I'm up at 6 at the latest every single day. I get up earlier. I stay up later. If you can free up 1 hour in your day every day of the week, that's 7 hours a week. What if someone handed you 7 hours to yourself to go work on your business? What could you accomplish with that time? And just make sure you're using it in a focused way. Like, so for me, let's go to the next slide, because I actually go over like my typical day, and I don't know where that falls in, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. So before, I'm going to go over later what like my typical day looks like, but this for me was huge when I decided to eliminate distractions and make sure that I was focused. This is something my dad used to say to me when I was in high school all the time. He used to say, you never focus. You're not focused. And he was right. And it really was like hard for me. But once I was able to do this, it was like life-changing in my business. You have to eliminate the distractions. Turn off the notifications in your group. Turn off your phone. Put it in airplane mode when you're working. Turn off the notifications on your laptop so all your texts aren't coming through to distract you. I had Messenger deleted on my phone for the longest time, and that was like the most amazing thing that ever could have happened to me, because I found myself like this all day long with my phone shoved in my face, because I thought, oh, someone needs me. Oh, that could be a challenge pack, or, oh, this person wants to cancel their Shakeology. All that can wait till it's time to do that kind of stuff. You have to work with a purpose. So you have to sit down at your computer and be working with a purpose. I'll clip calls. If I'm doing my power hour, I don't answer the phone. The only person I'll answer the phone for is my husband. That's it. That's it. And only if he's calling me from work. He can't be just calling me from running errands. If he's working and I'm doing my power hour, he's the only one I'll answer for. Everything else can wait. Let's see. You have to live and breathe by your power hour, guys. I cannot stress that enough. Like, when shit is hitting the fan at home, at the very least, make sure you're doing your power hour. Inviting people, adding new friends to your network, posting on social media, checking into your challenge groups. What else is on there? Staying current with what's going on, checking the Team Beachbody back office. There's nothing worse when a coach asks you a question and you're like, I have no idea. And then you go to, the Coach Online office, and there it is. There's the answer in the FAQs, or there it is in the Coach Breaking News. Stay current with what's going on in the business. Those behaviors are what's going to move your business forward. And it only takes an hour a day. So when I look at my organization, I know who does a power hour and I know who doesn't. And I know this because of the conversations I have with my coaches, but I know this also because of the Success Club points that they have and the volume that they're creating. It's backed up by this proven power hour. Do your power hour and your workouts before you do anything else. If you are working on building a website or you love blogging, that's all great, but that's all extra. That's all stuff that you do after these things are done. So power hour, 3 vital behaviors. And if you're having trouble developing your power hour, because for every coach it's a little bit different. Every coach has different goals. I'm sure mine looks a little bit different than Brooke's, looks a little bit different than Lauren's, looks a little bit different than Angela's. But the business activity tracker is an awesome way to guide that. And you can also hook up with your upline coach or your coach to kind of figure out a good one that works for you. So a lot of times I'll sit down with my coaches and we'll do what I call a goal setting call. But then I'll always bring it back to the power hour. The two have to be in alignment. So your goals and what you're going to do daily to achieve them always need to be in alignment. And that is what you need to do every single day. Let me see the next one. Oh, there it is. There's the BAT. These things have to be done every single day. If you don't do these things, you're not moving your business forward. So what I do is I'm still pen and paper. So believe it or not, I still print this. And I go down the list and I just kind of check. And then I keep all my notes for the week on the back. I'll write who I'm talking to, what I'm talking about, coaches recruited. I write really small on the back. The whole thing will be completely covered by the time the week is done. And then I throw it in a file and I drop it in a drawer. And the people that I'm talking to, my assistant actually tracks for me. I'm terrible at online tracking systems, but Brooke is very good at it. And she's going to go over that. But this is kind of what I live and breathe by. And this is how I teach my coaches every day, this before anything else. Let me see the next slide. So, and another thing is you have to find your systems and find what works for you and just stick to that plan. That's what works for me. I'm sticking to it until it doesn't work anymore. So don't constantly be trying to reinvent the wheel. We are part of one of the best uplines in this entire company. We have resources from top coaches, top 10 coaches, elite coaches. These guys know what they're doing. So don't constantly be trying to do things differently. Use the resources that are out there and just make it easier on yourself. Run your groups at the same time every month. Run your coach opportunity at the same time every month. Do all your recognition for your team at the same time every month. Make sure your team calls are all scheduled for the same time every month. Set up your plan for the month and just stick to it and run it every single month until you think that something needs to change because it's not productive anymore. But if you're running something that's productive, just stick to the plan. Don't try and reinvent the wheel every month. And then this is something that I always try and drive home. We are not on call. So, part of getting organized is sticking to your business hours. How many of you are like making dinner and there's like a kid in the bath and then like the laundry's going and then your husband comes home and then he's asking you questions and then you got someone who wants a challenge pack and you're trying to do it all and then like you got a coach that's text messaging you and then you know you got a call in like 20 minutes. Like it's too much. Like you have to have focused work time. Like don't feel like you need to answer everyone every second. Like people can wait an hour. Like if you have set aside dedicated business time, like people can wait. You're not going to lose out, I promise. I remember when I first started, I was like, oh my God, I need to answer this person right now. Or they might go order from someone else. Or they might just go to the website. Or they might do this. Or they might do that. Remember, we're attracting people to us. Anybody can go on eBay and anybody can go on Amazon and order what we have. What we're doing is attracting people to want to work with us. And if they want to work with us, they're going to want to work with us at 9 a.m. the same way they're going to want to work with us at noon. So it's okay to let people wait till it's your focused work time. And with your coaches, that kind of helps empower them to figure things out on their own, because it's a fine line with your coaches as well. Like coaches need to be, self-motivated and, run their business the same way we all want to run our businesses. And there's something to be said about figuring stuff out on your own. It makes it stick a little bit better. So I'm not saying like, oh, I'm not answering that question for you. You need to go to the FAQs and figure that out on your own. But if someone needs to wait an hour, they might go ahead and take the initiative to figure it out for themselves, and then it'll stick. And then you're empowering your coaches to do things more on their own. If you're trying to be everything to everyone, you're going to end up being nothing to no one. You're going to spread yourselves too thin. So you have to set some limits to your organization and your work time. What do we have next here? Oh, and always, always, always work with the willing. Do not chase people. Be you. Do your thing, and the right people will come into your life and stay there. So many times we get frustrated and we try and chase people down and we want to talk to them about Success Club and we want to talk to them about signing more coaches and they're not even responding. And then you message them again and you're like, people know how to find us. That's a waste of kind of like your time and organization. People come to you, they sign up as a coach under you, work with the willing. If they want to work with you, it's a two-way street. If you're going to give, people can't just take. They have to give back both ways. It has to be like a reciprocated relationship. Like you can't just give, and then not get back. So let me see what else we have here. So just to plow through some of like my top tips for organization, use a master calendar. So I use my iCalendar, and I think I show a screenshot of it later, but I have everything, every team call, every one-on-one, every challenge group, when to promote them. It's all on my master calendar. Identify your daily, weekly, and monthly activities. Get that on your calendar. Get a whiteboard. Hang it up where you can see it. Let it stare you in the face every day. On my whiteboard, I have my goals, the groups that I'm running, all the standing calls that I take, all my PS coaches' names and the rank that I need them to advance to, and then all my daily, weekly, and monthly activities. I just shared a tip with my team a couple weeks ago for the new year. I threw away every single notebook I have. I don't know if it's just me. I feel like it's a lot of people. We all have this like notebook and we're like, oh my God, who said that? Like that was like 3 weeks ago. And you're like thumbing through it like a mad woman trying to find it like scribbled in with like your grocery list. And you have like notebooks lying all over the place and they're all different sizes. And some of them are these cute little journals with all these inspirational quotes, but they're like really hard to write in. They suck. So throw away all your notebooks and get new ones. So I literally have I got them at Target, whatever that brand is with the bright colors in the bright colors aisle. I got one for my team calls. I got one for my PS coaches. I got one for my mentor calls. I have one with corporate. I have one with this guy, Josh Coates, that I hired. So all the different topics. You can have one for your challenge groups. You can have one for your customers. Whatever you find you're taking notes on, go get a notebook specific to each one of those topics and make sure all the notebooks are the same and they stack up nice and neat and each one is a different color. Make sure you have a list of your dream team. if we're going diamond, we need to be recruiting, and we need to be recruiting a team of people that we want to work with. So that list of 100 people is going to be, you know, your gold, your bread and butter. I refer to that list all the time. I have it saved to my desktop in an Excel spreadsheet. And when I'm on Facebook or when I'm inviting or I'm making connections, I'm constantly updating that list. You, to go diamond, must have a dream team list of 100 people. It's a non-negotiable. There's something about putting those 100 names in writing that makes it real. And that's your guide for when you want to invite people to the coach opportunity. Make sure you're tracking who you're inviting. This is new for me. I used to do it pen and paper, which is craziness, I know. I now am working like with my assistant on some systems. I know Brooke has some good systems that she's going to share. One thing I excel at is tracking my shake orders and offering the discount every single time. If somebody ordered a challenge pack from me, today's January 25th, I'm going to go to February 20th and I'm going to write follow up with so-and-so on my iCalendar. And I know that that's about the Shakeology, and I'm going to remind them that their shake is shipping. And if they wish to remain on it, then I'm going to offer them the discount coaching opportunity. Schedule your workouts and meal prep. So I use like the iCalendar family calendar. So I share with my husband too. Every Sunday, meal prepping is on my calendar. It's one of the 3 vital behaviors. How many of you are like, what workout am I supposed to do today? And you're like thumbing through your book and you're like, what's going on? I think tomorrow is the chisel hammer or something. I don't know. There's freaking 12 of them and I can't keep it all straight. So what I do is my husband and I are both doing hammer and chisel. I go in for the week and I type in what workouts we're doing, and it's literally on my phone. And then I don't have to have my husband say to me, which workout are we doing today? Which one are we doing tomorrow? Is that a long one? Is that a short one? They're all right there for us to see. And make sure that you guys are taking time for yourself. It is so important. Give yourselves a day or afternoon off at least once a week. It's really easy to get caught up in this. On Friday afternoons, after I pick Luke up from school, I'm done. I'll do some stuff on Saturday mornings, and I do like some meal prepping and things like that on Sunday, and then on Sunday night, I get like our week situated. But Friday afternoon, I do not work. I will not schedule calls. I won't get on calls. I won't, I don't check in with my challenge groups until the next day. I do it in the morning, unless I'm feeling it. Like unless, I'm sitting on the couch with my hubby and I want to share something in my challenge group off my phone, that's fine. But I don't count on anyone, and I don't expect anyone to count on me on Fridays. It's my day. It's my time. It's my family time. At nap time, I watch a little show. It's just your time. It's important to make sure that you're taking time for yourself, and it's important to schedule that time for yourself. What else do we have here? Oh, here's an example of my calendar. You can see I have my workouts in, my calls. It's all color-coded. There's a lot on there. I have people's birthdays on there. Make sure you wish everyone a happy birthday. On Tuesdays, I make sure I check my sponsorship drill down for all my active and inactive coaches. All kinds of stuff. My workouts, my coach opportunity calls, the national wake-up call. I never miss a national wake-up call. Make sure everyone puts the national wake-up call on their calendar for Mondays at 11 Eastern time, wherever you guys all live. But something that works for you. iCalendar is what works for me. I love it. It syncs to my phone. I can sync it to my husband's phone, and it's on my computer. It's at my fingertips all the time. I know a lot of people love the Google stuff too. Let me see what's next. Is it you, Brooke?
Yep, I think I'm up next.
All right.
All right, so that was really awesome stuff, Megan. And what I'm going to do is kind of just show you how I run my schedule. And, obviously, if you use Google, if you use pen and paper, if you use whatever you use, just make sure you find a system that works for you and work with it. Because before I got organized, I'm really big into like colored pens and paper and rewriting everything to have the neatest handwriting. And I honestly spent the majority of my time just rewriting my list rather than actually working from them and figuring out what I needed to do. So on Google Calendar, you put your colors in. It's really great for us because my husband and I both work. We both work a second side hustle is what I like to call them. We've got 2 kids, so things are just freaking busy, right? And on a Google Calendar, it kind of shows up on both of our pages, we know where each one is. Like if I have a call during, our family time one night, like he's aware of it, he knows, he's ready to cover, and good to go. So this is kind of like, and I took all the other stuff out because I just wanted to show you how to plan like your groups every month, because your groups planning every month is huge, okay? So as a leader, this is what your team's gonna kind of start going off of your schedule, which is super important. But also this shows you what to be posting about, okay? So if you're doing a 3-day sneak peek on the 9th through the 11th, the week before that, and probably the week before that, you wanna post about coaching, and you wanna post about how awesome coaching is and how that's affected your life. And like Bonnie Engel, she's really been hammering home the idea of running these glance into coaching groups on your timeline, which I think is a fabulous idea. And I know in my team, we recently started naming reasons that we had fear of joining the business and just abolishing those on your timeline. And that's amazing stuff. And so when you're leading up to like a 3-day sneak peek, you want to be talking about how great coaching is and how great, how it's benefiting your life, so that people, when you're like, oh yeah, we're running a 3-day sneak peek, they're like, oh, she's been talking about how great that is. I want to check it out. So, and then the 5-day free group, I run those every once in a while. That's a great way to break into your cold market. If you pick a friend or a fellow coach and run it with them, that's kind of fun just to get new people. But then like your challenge group I always begin mine on the first Monday of the month. I know Melanie Mitro, top coach in the business, she runs hers on the 3rd Monday of the month, just because her schedule is a little bit different, and that's fine. You need to do whatever works for you. This is just what works for me. And so the 2 weeks leading up to the program group, you're going to want to be like posting about challenge groups and the programs and your results and how it's, really helped you, and, everything to get people on board and like thinking about a challenge group. So when your call to action comes out, they're like, bam, I'm in. They've seen about it. They've seen how great it is. They've seen how it's affected people's lives for the past 2 weeks. They can't help but, want to join you. And then to break it down a little bit further, this is kind of what my week looks like. And like Megan said, she stayed at home. I'm a working mom, so you kind of get the best of both worlds here to try and see how it's done. Oh, geez, sorry. Oh, goodness. To kind of see how, we do it from either side. So this is like kind of what my day looks like, and it's really important to put it all on here. So I put my workout in the mornings. Now, I'll say this is my schedule. Not every day does that happen, right? If my kids were up all night, then, we have some flexibility, and that's really important as well as being flexible. So, I put my workout on there, and then in the morning after my workout, I post my morning post. I do my posting in my team page and my challenge groups, and then check like any messages that have come in. And then the red stuff is while I'm at work. Now, I am able to do some work for Beachbody while I'm at work, so I do that on my phone. And then I do my power hour at noon. Now, I want to say that I sit down and I sit there for an hour and it's focused and it's whatever, but at work, sometimes I'll have a meeting at 12:30. So sometimes my power hour is kind of like 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 15 minutes there, 15 minutes there. But all of the parts of my power hour always get done, because I do make sure that that's very important. Now, then I work the rest of the afternoon, and then I get home. And from 5:30 to 8, my husband and I, starting this year, we really made it a deal, because he has a side hustle too. So we could both be on our phones all day, every day. But we decided that that's not cool. And so from 5:30 to 8 every night, we try to put our phones away. Now, if I do a call to action that night, that's probably not, probably around 7:30, I'll get my phone again. But that's kind of just what my schedule looks like from 8 to 10. It's Beachbody, it's calls with my coaches, it's recruiting, it's whatever needs to be done, planning, planning posts for the week or whatever it is. And you see there on Wednesday nights in blue, I schedule date night, because that's just the night I'm going to put it away and I'm going to hang out with Eric. And that's really important, you guys, to be on the same page with your spouse, or your husband, or your boyfriend, or fiance, or whatever, about this business and your intentions. For us, we've decided that this is really important for our family right now. So our night times are kind of sacrificed to work the business. And granted, before, all we were doing is watching TV on our phones. So now we're being productive and we're getting business done. But on one night a week, the phones go away, we hang out, and then we hang out on the weekends. The weekends are kind of just, up in the air, and things get done, but they get done whenever they get done. Like I said, flexibility is huge. So this is like a little bit of a comparison of kind of what our lives look like. Megan's in yellow, I'm in pink. So the working mom, I do my workout at 5:30, but if you look at Megan, she's up at the same time doing her workout and getting it done so that she's free when the kids wake up, right? 6:15, I'm posting in my challenge group. 7 o'clock, the kids are waking up and I'm getting everybody ready out the door. 8 o'clock, I'm commuting, and a lot of times I do my personal development during my commute. And even more than that, I do it at work. I listen to YouTubes in the background or things, where I can do two things at one time. My power hour is during the middle of the day, and this is so important, you guys. And we're going to talk about how to organize all of this in a minute, but you have to do these things every single day. I know Megan kind of hammered it home, but you've got to invite. You have to do it. People aren't going to know about the business if you don't invite. You have to add people to your network, or you're going to run out of people. And then you have to be present on Facebook. So you have to be consistent, and you have to do all that kind of stuff every time, throughout the day. And then I also make it a part of my power hour to go to like 20 people's pages and comment on their Facebook, on their, I've always heard if you do 2 comments and 3 likes, then you start to show up in their news feed. So I really try to do that. And then, like I said, over there, and then Megan, I don't know if you want to explain anything special about yours, or it looks like you pretty much go ahead.
Yeah, I can just tack it off really quick. So yeah, I get up at 5, 6 o'clock every day. If I get up at 5, I get my workout and my power hour done before Luca gets up at 7. If I get up at 6, I do one or the other. I do all my inviting. I add new friends to my network. I plan my posts for the day, and I don't necessarily type them all up, but I follow the fitness, lifestyle, motivation. Those are my 3 posts for the day. One's about fitness, one's about my mom life, toting my little kid around, and the other one I might just throw up some like motivation or support or something that I'm feeling that day. Those are like the 3. So I kind of map it out in my mind. I'm like, okay, well, Luca and I are going to the jump park today, so I can post a picture of us at the jump park. That'll be my lifestyle post. So I should do a sweaty selfie. And then, my motivation will be like a motivation Monday or a transformation Tuesday or something like that. So I kind of just map it out in my mind that morning. Sometimes I will type them up ahead of time. If I know that it's like Sunday or Monday night or Tuesday night even, and I'm going to do like a call to action for like a challenge group or a coach app, I'll get it ready in the morning, and I'll either schedule it or I'll save it to the notepad on my phone, and I'll put it into the feed at whatever time. And then I check the Coach Online office, I check my orders, I check my coaches, I check my Success Club points, and I check the Coach Breaking News. Then I check in on all my groups, I comment and like on everything. All my groups are buffered ahead of time, so I don't have to worry about my posts for the day. And then I hit my messages last, and I basically do my messaging until I run out of time and Luca wakes up. Then my work for the day is done. I'm done. Okay, I have done everything I need to do to move my business forward. Everything else I'm going to do after this is a bonus. And that makes my time with my family so much easier in my mind, because I don't have like a fog brain or anything like that. I'm accomplished, and now it's Luca time. So I spend my morning with him. I clean up my house. I'll do some house things. We go out, we run errands. And then at nap time, I'll log back in and follow up if I got any messages. If I want to make training videos for any like groups that I'm doing, if I want to schedule calls, any one-on-one calls, mentorship calls, group calls, I do them during nap time, and then I'll check back in on my groups again. And then when all that's done, sometimes I allow a little bit of mindlessly surfing Facebook every once in a while, or I'll watch like the Kardashians. And then in the evening, team calls, more follow-ups, and then I make sure that I have husband time. I will say to my husband, like, okay, we love our shows on Showtime. We love our Netflix. And I'll say to him, okay, we've got a Ray Donovan to watch tonight. Do you want to watch it tonight? Do you want to watch it tomorrow night? I've got a call Monday, Tuesday. We can do it like Wednesday. Like, I make sure that, I usually am booked on Monday and Tuesday nights, and he knows that. And I try and load those evenings. That way the other evenings of the week are free. I'd rather have 2 or 3 nights out of the week where I'm completely indisposed, so that I could have 2 or 3 nights out of the week that I'm 100%, focused on Jason, not like chipping away at it every single night. So that's kind of like a day in my life.
That's awesome. I mean, and it's pretty similar. It's, we get up and get it done early. And Melanie Mitro, she said the same thing at training this week. She gets up at 5 o'clock, even though she doesn't have to work out, but that's just the time when you're able to get everything done before the kids wake up. Because if you push it any later in the afternoon, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So
Well, and unfortunately, I think with a lot of moms who have kids, and I'm assuming that most of us on this call who have kids, it's unfortunate because the more we have on our plate, the easier it is for us to get frustrated. And being a mom can be a really frustrating thing. Like, things just don't go according to plan. And when you have someone whining and spilling things, and, it's hard. It's really hard to always be like, Mrs. Cleaver over here. So the more you can accomplish before your kids start to need you, the better you're going to feel. I can promise you that.
For sure. So this is a way that I create content ahead of time, because I know a lot of people work, and so it's hard to post in the middle of the day. Now, you can always use Buffer, and I absolutely 100% use Buffer for my challenge groups, and I'll talk about that in a second. But if you can post on your own timeline yourself, find a way to do that, because that's how you're going to get the most amount of views, the most amount of likes, the most amount of whatever. So what I'll do is I will send myself emails that look just like this. And so I'll make the email and then send it to myself. And basically, so if you look at Monday, it'll be like timeline AM. So what do you do when the rain's at the beach? Double up your workouts, family, and go shopping. So then I tell myself I need to take a picture of my family working out. This was from the summer when I was at the beach. It's an old slide, but you know what I'm saying? So I send myself like the material that I want, and then I add in other stuff as I go along. Now, I don't do this every day, but when I can, it makes it so much easier, because if I'm in a meeting at noon, then I can just literally look at my email, copy, paste, bam, it's posted, it's good to go. So I find that this way is really easy. I know some people do Google Docs and kind of plan their posts that way. Whatever works for you and however you can plan them. If you don't have to plan exactly what you're going to say, but kind of the content, so that we're always adding value with our posts. And then, like I said, Buffer, I use this for all of my groups. So like here, you'll see my October challenge groups there. My Fall into Fitness group was there. The Fit Life community, which is like my accountability group after people are done with challenge groups, I put that in there. And I'll hook up posts in there so that they post automatically. And if you have a like page, you can set those up for just whenever you want. So definitely, if you set things up, because, for me, working mom, stay-at-home mom, it's no different. Life happens, things come up, things happen, and you're not always available at the best posting times or whatever, but you want to make sure that you're still present for your Beachbody business. So you want to make sure you are as consistent as possible when it comes to that kind of stuff. So here's how I track my customers. And I did a call about this recently, and people were like, I want to see the exact, labels of your thing. So I took out the customers' names and the emails, and here's how I do it. This is exactly it. So my customers, I put over, so if you look at the bottom, I have tabs for customers, prospects, follow-up, and then like the other sheets are just kind of like notes maybe about, I don't even know what's on them, what's going on with whoever. And so I list my customers, I list what business center they're in, whether they're my first, my second, or Eric's. And then I list the last conversation I had with them. So a lot of these Beachbody leads, I'm sending them a checking in email, because I had sent them the intro email previously. They didn't respond. So here's my checking in email. And then over on the right, I don't keep it up as much as I should. But that's just like what current group they're in or what programs they have, or if they had mentioned they were interested in another program, I'll put it in there and highlight it in red. So I know to go back to it. So that is what like my Beachbody contact list looks like. The prospects, I have it on the next page. We'll start at the bottom. So the prospects, I do last name, first name, because then I can copy and paste. Like the idea is that they start on my prospects, they go to my customers, and then they go to my coaches. So what I do here is I just write over there like if they liked something on my like page, I'll be like, liked my Facebook post, send a message. And I'll just track kind of who I talk to, who I send messages to, where I kind of got them from. And we'll go from there. And then I have a totally separate spreadsheet of my coaches, and I have me up there so you can kind of see how it works. But basically it's me, it's recognition. So if I sent them like, any kind of like prize or whatever, or gave them a shout out in the group or whatever, so that I make sure that like, I'm making sure I'm in contact with everybody, the date they joined, who their PS coach is, because sometimes I can't find people because they're in one of the different business centers. So I'll be like, Brooke 1, Brooke 2, or Eric, their screen name, their coach ID, and then when they went these different, levels, because I think that's fun to know as well. And then also Google Forms has literally like changed my life. So I use Google Forms for challengers and for coaches. And so what I do is when I do my call to action, whether it's for a challenge group or for like a coaching group, I always put a link to my form. And I make a different form for both of them. So I have one form for challenge groups, one form for coaching. And then I even did a form for my coaches actually and their goals like for 2016. And this is a great way to track stuff and get everything in one place and to find out information before you get on the phone with these people. So if someone's interested in your challenge group, for instance, you can put all these questions into your form and you already know like a ton of information. Have they ever heard of Shakeology? How active they are? What kind of activities they like, if it's cardio, if it's weightlifting, whatever. You can design these forms however you want. So I didn't like do a whole tutorial here, but here's where you find the forms in your Google Drive. That over on the top right is what the blank form looks like, and that's how you are going to set it up. And what I would highly, highly suggest you do is go to YouTube and type in Google Forms. This is how I learned how to use it. I think I might even have a YouTube thing on it. And design your forms. What you can also do is you can go click on one of my forms if you want and just use the same questions I have. You don't have to fill it out or anything, but you can just find my questions that way. And then what it does is at the bottom, you'll see the spreadsheet. That is all the information I collect from people, and it just comes right on in there, and it tells me, you know, all the answers to the questions. And then it's always in a whole spreadsheet where I can always look back. It's time stamped, so I know when they did the form. So I know who I've gotten in touch with, how recent that was, etc. So Google Forms are awesome. Definitely YouTube it and see how to make them because they're great. They're just really, really great. And I've noticed that honestly, like especially with coaching posts, I get a lot of people through Google Forms because they don't want to comment on my timeline for whatever reason. They don't want people to see it. They don't want people from their work to see it. Whatever it is, I get a lot more action through a form than I do on my timeline. So just some takeaway tips that I have, very similar to Megan's, is find a system that works for you. Whether it's pen and paper, Melanie Metro, #1 coach in the whole Beachbody network, uses pen and paper. If it's Google Docs, for me, that works out great because if I'm at work, if I'm at home, I have everything there. And whatever Megan uses for her, I think it's her Mac calendar, right? Yeah. And then delegate in business and in life. Like she said, get a maid, get something, get help. Like you can't do it all. We're not superhuman people. I mean, kind of we are, but not really. And in business, like delegate to your leaders and delegate to your, you know, your emeralds or whoever, because that's going to help them grow in business also. I mean, if people have to like be resourceful and be a leader, that really helps them grow as well. And it helps them figure out how to get organized in a system that works for them. So be sure to schedule as much as you can. And I know not everybody is like as OCD as me about planning ahead and always having a plan. But it's really, really important, especially when you're trying to work this business. And it doesn't always go to plan and be flexible to that. But you have to have some idea of what you're doing. You have to know when your groups are coming because your posts need to like be based around what's coming next. And like Megan said, don't reinvent the wheel. You can duplicate what works for others. This business is all about duplication. Don't waste time. Keep it simple. Seriously, don't overcomplicate anything. Okay, so there's a coaching group next week. Post about coaching this week. It's very simple. Don't overanalyze. Don't overcomplicate. Just do it. Embrace the chaos. I always say that because life as a working parent, however many jobs you have, is just crazy. And so just embrace it and have fun with it. And then always just have fun and remember why you started. You know, I know there's times that people get frustrated and they get overwhelmed. You'll find a system that works for you and keep trying until you find one that does. And you will. It'll all make sense, but just make sure you do keep trying and you keep going and you try something different. And ask your upline and ask other coaches what they're doing and what works for them. I know we were just at leadership, obviously. And I heard like a whole bunch of different things that I never heard. One being like coaching codes, like, you know what I mean? Just be open to things, be active in the groups because that's how you're going to learn about the different things that are out there and the different things that people use that might be your solution as well. So that's all I have. Let's see here. I'll open it up. If anybody has any questions, or should we stop recording, Lauren? Maybe we'll stop recording and then see if anybody has any questions. So if anybody was not on tonight and you're watching the recording, just let Megan or I know you know how to reach us if you have any questions, and we'll be happy to help you out. All right, bye guys.